We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Okay, listen. Right now, I'm noticing that the anti-American media is going crazy, and they're all allying with the Chinese Communist Party, and it's happening right now. I'm noticing. Look, tomorrow's Monday. The markets are going to open. Shit's going to hit the fan. But I'm just noticing that all these people in the media, particularly on the left, are all allying with China 100%. 100%. A lot of these people that I was following when I was looking at the anti-war angle, they're all allied with China. They all want America to fail, which means they want you to fucking die. That's what that means. They want you to be a slave to China. That's what that means. And it's happening right now. So check this out. Here's this idiot, George Galloway, who wants to be the leader of Islam in Ireland. He literally wants to bring Muslims into Ireland to kill you. To kill you. That's who he is. That's who he is. He's a lying little slithering snake. And he wants to bring Muslims into Ireland to replace you and to kill you and to take your things so that he can remain in power on behalf of the Vatican. He's a Catholic. So I'm saying that here's his interview. He's doing this interview right now. Just listen to him.
Relations and trade, the biggest story in the world. Well, only the doyen of China commentator, Sean Ryan, author of The Split, Finding the Opportunities in China's Economy in the New World Order. How lucky are we that Sean joins us now?
So this Sean guy is some kind of mixed race Chinese. He looks Chinese or something, or maybe like half Chinese, half something else. I don't know. But he's 100% on board with China. Sean Rein, author The Split, Finding the Opportunities in China's Economy.
How did it all look to you? Were you gazing at it in disbelief, or did you expect it, Sean?
George, it's great to be here during this age of uncertainty. First off, in the beginning of the week, there was a lot of anger and a lot of anxiety in China, but there was also a word that I want to highlight was resolve. The Chinese people coalesced around Xi Jinping and the CPC and said, if Trump is going to slap 84% tariffs on us, if Trump is going to slap 125% tariffs on us, we are going to bind together and we are going to be a strong Chinese nation and push back very.
How about you keep your fucking garbage over on your end of the fucking planet, okay? Nobody wants your cheap Chinese shit over here. It was forced on us. We didn't ask for it. Keep your fucking shit in China. Keep all your garbage that you produce, all your mass-produced fucking toilet culture in China. Nobody wants it over here. We don't want it over here. Go the fuck away. How's that? Where's this guy from? Sean Rein. Where's this idiot from? Where is this guy from? Does he live in the US or what? Where does he live? Where does he live? Does he live in America? He says he's the founder and managing director of the China Market Research Group, world's leading strategic market intelligence firm focused on China. Oh, he was born in New Hampshire. This is what I'm talking about. We import all this shit over here, and then they screw us. He's not an American. He's some idiot he was born in New Hampshire. It says born in New Hampshire in 1977. And listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying. He's for China. He's for China. That's what he's saying. He's for China.
If Trump is going to slap 125% tariffs on us, we are going to bind together and we are going to be a strong Chinese nation and push back there.
Fuck you, man. Get out of my country. Get out of my country. Why are you here? Why do we have this shit that comes over here and then works against us in our own country? Get the fuck out.
Very hard. I think Trump is getting very bad advice from people like Scott Bessent.
It's none of your business because you're not an American. You're not one of us. 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 The Chinese government with the Vatican released a massive, remember when they released a massive virus that killed millions of people and locked down the whole planet? You're the problem. You're the problem. Not us. Not us. Not the American people. You are the problem, buddy. You're not my buddy, actually. You're my enemy. And why are you in my country? Who let you in here? That's the problem.
Secretary of Treasury, as well as Peter Navarro, his advisor on trade, because they think that the Chinese are going to bend their knee to Trump. And that's
See, this is an American. Can you believe this guy's an American talking like this? They think that the Chinese are going to bend their knee to Trump. Dude, go fuck off to China. Go fuck off to China. What are you even doing here? And secondarily, I'm an American, and I'm telling you for sure that I don't want any of your cheap Chinese shit in my country. It was forced on me by some shit organization called the World Trade Organization tied to the Rockefellers, and I don't give a shit about them either. So you and them can all go fuck off back to China and just leave us Americans alone. Can you just do that? How about you just do that instead?
just not going to happen. Basically, Xi Jinping has dealt with a lot more pain.
Oh, Xi Jinping says this and Xi Jinping says that, and we're rallying behind Xi Jinping. Then good. Fuck off back to China. What are you even doing here? This guy was born in New Hampshire. But here's the thing. That's what I'm saying. He's not an American. He was never an American. They bring these people over here, and then they're born here, and then they go to school here, and then they work against the American people. That's been the program since the Civil War. I'm not going to rehash that whole history because I've already gone over it too much.
Than Trump ever has. You know, when she was 15 years old, he actually spent 8 years living in a cave.
Oh, she lived in a cave. Oh, yeah. Just like Ignatius, which is like that. Now, this is just like the story of Muhammad and the story of Ignatius. And now Xi, he lives in a cave. Oh, they all live in a cave. Fuck you, man. Go live in your fucking cave. Fuck off back to your cave. No one in America needs you. We don't need you. We never needed you. We never wanted you. We never needed you. We never asked for you. You were forced on us. So, you know what? I think I was critical of the Uyghurs before, but you know what? You know, I'm sorry that the Uyghurs were involved in the Syria thing, but you know, maybe we should just help the Uyghurs, you know, take back Beijing. How do you like that, you scumbag? Like, why are you getting involved in my country? Okay, because I was leaving everybody alone before, but now you just keep pushing. You just keep pushing. You keep pushing your Chinese fucking shit over on me. So this is going to be a real problem. This is going to be a real problem. You keep pushing your Chinese shit in America, and nobody wants it. We don't want you with your garbage that you ship over here. It's trash. Your stuff is trash. The stuff you make is trash, and we can make our own stuff. We don't need you, actually. The sooner you're out of here, the better. The sooner you're gone, the better. The sooner that Taiwan is the capital of East Asia, the better. Let's listen to some more of this idiot.
When I first moved to China in the 1990s, many Chinese told me that they hadn't eaten meat more than once every month or two. So the Chinese people were prepared for pain. They were prepared to push back against Trump and show the world that China is the new global world superpower.
This guy was born in New Hampshire. Do you hear how he's talking? Do you hear how he's talking? He was born in New Hampshire. He's not one of us. He was never one of. That's why when they bring these foreign people over here, and even if they're born here, that doesn't make them an American. I'm sorry. Being an American is something that only certain people are capable of understanding. This idiot's not an American. And the problem we have in America after all this time is that there's a lot of people like this that have been brought over here and born here, and they went to school here, and they're not Americans. They're not they're not one of us. They're not one of us, and they never will be. And you just hear how he's talking about China this, China that, China strong, Xi Jinping born in a cave. The Chinese people are resilient. Fuck you, man. Go back over it. Why are you even here? Why are you even here? Can you just pack up your shit? Just pack up your shit and go because we don't need you and we don't want you and we never wanted you. The American people never, ever, ever, ever wanted you here. Never. We never wanted your cheap Chinese shit here either. It was forced on us. And now it's being reversed. We're finally getting away from you, which is what we want. We want to get away from you.
And there's a new world order. So that was the beginning of the week, George. And then after Trump yesterday stepped back and said, well, we're going to exempt tariffs on iPhones, computers, and other electronic devices, the Chinese people feel they've beaten the United States in round one. And they're pushing back and they're laughing. They're laughing at Trump right now. One of the most popular memes in social media today is a picture of Donald Trump looking like a schoolgirl sitting on his...
This guy was born in New Hampshire. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. Where did he go to school? So he was born in New Hampshire. And he's the president of the Student Council Graduate School of Arts and Science Commencement Marshall Award for Leadership and Contribution to the Harvard community. Oh, no wonder, Harvard. We have a real problem in this country with this shit, with this garbage, with this trash that comes over here and is born here and then goes to these schools and then works against us, the American people. That's been the problem this whole time. This piece of trash should be, I think he should be arrested and put in prison if he's on American shores, or he should be forced to never return to America. Why? There's no reason to have this person ever come back to America. Can anyone think of a reason why we need this idiot in America? Is there one reason? And so I can't think of one.
Bed saying, when will Xi Jinping call me? Why won't he call? And that's what's happening right now. So there was a lot of anxiety and resolve in the beginning of the week, but by the end of the week, there was a lot of happiness and a sense of relief that Trump...
Oh, well, go ahead. Listen, we don't want your trash anymore, and you're going to go out of business. China's going out of business. There won't be a BRICS. There won't be a BRICS. There won't be a BRICS. There won't be a China. Your manufacturing base won't have anyone to sell to because you're not going to exist, because we're going to make our own stuff now, because we are done with that old system and we're throwing it in the trash, and we're throwing you in the trash, Sean. You and your garbage culture, your cheap plastic Chinese garbage culture is all getting flushed down the toilet, and China won't exist. It's going to be Taiwan. There's just going to be a big region of the earth in East Asia called Taiwan. Taiwan. That's all it's going to be. There won't be a China. There'll just be a big section of East Asia called Taiwan capital and Lesser Taiwan. That's it. You're going down the tubes. Okay? You're going down the tubes. And Sean, don't ever come back to America. We hate you. We don't want you here. We never wanted you here. We never invited you here. You're an interloper, and you were forced on us. That's what you need. That's what you need to know.
Wasn't going to go too far, George.
I don't know who should call who first. Probably Trump, because he's the one that launched.
So this guy, this Irish guy, he wants to be the leader of Islam in Ireland. So they're literally the Vatican. He's a Catholic. He's a Catholic, socialist, communist Muslim. So he wants to be the communist leader of Muslims in Ireland. That's his position. Or for the I guess it's the Irish sector of the UK or something like that. He's literally the leader of Muslims in an Irish part. That's who he is. That's what this shit is, dude. That's what this crap is. They want to force their commercial slave system of communist CCP, global commercial slave system, on you, and all the shit that comes with it. All the migrants, all the refugees, all the bullshit, all the slavery, all the cheap plastic shit that you get from China that's worthless. That's George Galloway's vision of the world. Because the fact of the matter is, he loves money. He loves money, and he loves being important in his little office. He doesn't care about the people of Ireland. But let's continue.
This blitzkrieg on.
Yes, it's going to be a blitzkrieg.
Financial blitzkrieg. But it would be a good idea for Trump and Xi Jinping to meet an early opportunity.
It doesn't
wouldn't it?
matter, dude. Look, why do we even need to meet with Xi Jinping? Maybe Trump wants to, but as far as I'm concerned, we don't need to. We never need to meet with him. We don't need him because we don't need anything from China. We need nothing. The best thing that will ever happen to America is that China doesn't exist and that they don't produce anything because we don't need their stuff. So the best thing that could ever happen to America is that China just goes away and the people can just do whatever they're going to do. They can go raise animals. They can do their own thing, but they're not going to be in some thing with America because they're shit. Because first of all, the stuff they produce is literally trash. And all they've done for decades now is ship garbage to America and fill America with Chinese garbage that nobody wants. And the only reason anybody buys it is because it's cheap. And now that's all that there is cheap garbage everywhere. America used to make amazing products of all kinds. And so did Europe. The German engineering and the American engineering was the best. And instead, we have these stupid people that created China as a manufacturing base so that they could make cheap shit and ship it all over the world. And it's literally trash. Like literally everything that the Chinese make is garbage. Literally trash. It's literally worthless fucking trash. So goodbye, China. Don't ever come back. And take the Sean Reen guy with you. I can't even believe this guy was born in America. He's such a piece of... I'm not going to use any more bad words.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The two should have a phone call. The two should meet. But both of them are playing a game of chicken. Neither of them wants to appear weak to the other.
We don't even need you.
Wants to appear weak to the rest of the world.
We don't need you.
These tariffs don't make sense. Nobody wins with the tariffs. It's not like...
No, we do. We win. Now, right now, Trump had to pause some of the tariffs because we got to have this. We got to have the computer chips and we got to have this and that for the computers and blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Fine. Let's start making those here, okay? Or somewhere else. Let's make them here. Let's make all that stuff here. Let's just get the factory going. Let's go. In the meantime, yeah, we have to let you bring your stuff in. And then after that, that's it, dude. Once we got our stuff rolling, bye. We don't need you anymore. We'll have our own pharmaceutical companies that produce drugs that hopefully that are actually help people and not ruin their lives. You know, stuff that you actually might need, you know, if you're actually sick and you might need some medicine that helps you. Let's produce that. Let's produce the computer chips. Let's produce the other stuff that we have to allow into the country for now because we've been put in this situation by other presidents. And then once we get our stuff going, you can go fuck off, China. Sorry for the F. I shouldn't use F because people are trying to watch this. They want to hear that. Let's listen to this.
China's going to win. It's not like the United States is going to win because customers on both sides are going to get hurt. Now,
no. There's no hurt. You're not going to win. This is what everybody needs to understand. This is what everyone needs to understand. We, the white people in America and Europe, don't need you in China. We literally don't need you. And we never needed you. We never, ever needed you, ever. The only reason you were created as a manufacturing base is some rich asshole named David Rockefeller wanted to set up a global economic system. And so he wanted to get rich. And so he screwed us. And he worked with you and a bunch of other people related, worked with you and made you in a manufacturer. We never, ever needed you, ever. And we will never need you. We literally don't need Chinese goods at all for anything. Anything. That's so stupid. If you think that we do, you're an idiot. I don't know what else to say. We don't need oh, well, it'll cost more to make it in America. So what? So what? You know how much I pay? Okay, I have like 3 mechanics, okay, maybe 4. One of my mechanics is so freaking expensive, you wouldn't believe it. And he is like an engineering freaking genius, dude. You can't educate someone to be like this, okay? You can't go to school to become this good at engineering. Like, I don't know how to explain it, okay? And he's expensive, okay? And so when I need parts made from scratch that nobody else has or can build or can get, He just makes them for me. Okay. And then I've got another mechanic and he's a little cheaper. Okay. But whatever. When I got to get the thing that I need, this guy can make anything. And he's an American guy. And that's all I really can. I just need good I need stuff that I like. See, I'll spend more money on something I like. I don't need a bunch of cheap shit. That's not like Trump said the other day. The American dream isn't cheap products. That's not the American dream. Being able to buy cheap stuff. See, all these rich people that run all these mega businesses that are in league with China, they're like, but the consumers are going to have to pay more, and they're just not going to go for that. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. See, everything's already too fucking expensive anyway. So I might as well pay for somebody to make something that I like instead of a piece of garbage that comes from China. I don't need garbage from China. And factually, once we're all making our own stuff, we can figure out the wages and rates for things and it'll all be fine. Trust me. We've never needed China for anything, ever. And we never will.
Aside from customers paying tariffs,
Come on, no,
that's hitting
Shut
the
up.
American companies. So Tesla has stopped selling their Model S and their Model X. They're two high-end vehicles in China, which used to sell very well. But
I
in
don't
the
care.
retaliation, the Chinese have slumped 84% tariffs onto the importing Teslas. So Elon Musk and Tesla's hurting. That's got to pressure one of Trump's most.
I don't care. I don't care if Elon Musk can't sell a Tesla in China because I don't give a shit about China. I don't care. There's no my lack of care, my not caring about the Chinese economy and business with China and people doing business in China. Like there's literally, it's an infinite amount of not caring or giving a shit at all. Like there's no end to how little I care about this. I care so little that I don't care at all. There's nothing you can do to me in China. And none of this is going to affect how I feel about Trump. The only way I would come to hate Trump is if he started making deals with China to prop them back up again. The only thing I want to see with China is I want to see China disappear. And I want to rename China Lesser Taiwan. That's what China, if I become, I want Trump to appoint me the head of Space Force in East Asia. And I'm going to rename the entire region over East Asia. I'm going to rename it Lesser Taiwan. Lesser Taiwan. And Beijing, I'm going to turn Beijing into a zoo. Beijing, I'm going to turn Beijing into a zoo with exotic animals of East Asia, and they're going to be cared for there. I think I'm going to get like a panda sanctuary. A panda sanctuary. Beijing, I'm going to turn Beijing into a panda sanctuary. That's how much I care about the Chinese business relationships with America. I couldn't care any less about it. And he's got these stupid freaking people, dude. They're all connected to this idiot George Galloway, who's a Vatican agent, Muslim leader over in Ireland. Piece of, I didn't want to say. I'm not going to use bad words. Let's just listen to some more of these
valued
idiots.
advisors. But on the other side, for the Chinese,
This is why you have to fight. You have to really be serious about not wanting to be in this World Trade Organization, interdependent with China bullshit thing anymore. Okay, let's end the war with Russia. That's it. No more war with Russia. Let's be friends with Russia. We'll make the Ukrainians be friends. They hate the Russia. I know the Ukrainians and the Russians. Actually, I don't even know that. When I was younger, all my Ukrainian friends who were girls, they all spoke Russian and they liked Russia. Nobody had a problem with any of this. Anyway, let's listen to some more of these idiots.
Doesn't help either. So we need to have both countries, both leaders talking together and
who's we? Notice how he just said we. First he goes on and says China, China, China. Xi Jinping lived in a cave like Muhammad and Loyola Ignatius. They all lived in caves. And then he goes on to say, and we need this and we need that. You're not one of us, stranger. You're not one of us. You're not an American. I know you were born here. I know you went to school here, but you're not one of us. You look like you're half white. You look like you're a half white person and a half Chinese person. That's what you look like. You look like a half white, half Chinese, Harvard educated, born in New Hampshire foreigner that's allied with China against America. That's what you look like to me. That's what you look like to me. Sean Ryan.
Having some pragmatism. I'm not sure that's going to happen anytime soon because the United States is really trying to cripple and contain China's economic growth.
So
The good side and the wild
how about
card,
just go away?
George, is that
How
you're
about just
getting
leave us
pressure
alone?
from the rest of the world. Last week, I was in China, I was in Thailand, and I was also in Brussels, in Belgium, keynoting a conference there.
So
And what I was surprised about was
why are you even in Brussels? You're not European. Why are you even there? Who, like, that's our stuff, dude. Can you just leave us? Can you just go away? Can you leave us alone? Can you just leave us alone and not get involved in our business? Can you just not get involved in what we're doing and just stay with your own people and do your own thing and be happy and live happily ever after?
how
Why-
even the Europeans and the people in Thailand were really against what Trump was doing. And these are historically strong allies of the United States.
So-
and they were saying, well, why is Trump tariffing us? What have we done to deserve?
We'll just don't worry about it, bro. We don't need your stuff. That's why we don't need your stuff. See, we have a population that we care about, and we're just going to make our own things. And we're going to make things. It's going to be fun. See, making things is fun. Building things is fun. Creating things is fun. That's what we do. We don't need you. We don't need your cheap shit. And everybody who wants to survive, if you want to live as an American, you need to dig your heels in and show your teeth and let these people know that they can just go fuck off back to China and take all their shit with them. Pick up all your Chinese trash and take it back over there. And that's it. And fuck you. That's the message. We don't need an agreement. We don't need to have a long discussion. You don't need anything. We just need you to go away. That's it. That's all we're saying. Fuck off.
Such tariffs. And you could even see, even in Brussels, where Ursula von der Leyen has always pushed for de-risking and even decoupling from China, she is starting to say it's a new world order, it's a new world, it's a new time. Maybe we need to pivot closer back to China.
See? Those aren't our friends. Van der Leyen. Why is a woman running Europe? That's so stupid. Why is a woman running Europe? You know, if you're a man and you have a woman running your government, women are wonderful. I love women, but women aren't capable of violence, okay? And if you're going to enforce laws, that takes men with strength and guns and all kinds of weapons. Like, laws don't get enforced without men capable of violence. That's how laws get enforced. So if you're a woman, see, it's real easy to stand up there and say things and say that you're in charge of the government and that you are in charge of making laws and you're in charge, right? It's real easy to do that. But none of that happens without men willing to enforce violence on behalf of the government. That's why women should never be in positions of power. Because unless you understand what it means to actually carry out violence, you really shouldn't be in that position, because it's not something that should be taken lightly. Carrying out violence is not something that should be taken lightly. And so it's serious business. And it's not the business of the fair sex. We'll call it the fair sex. Women aren't there to carry out violence. That's not the role of a woman. And the role of a political leader depends on men who are willing and capable of carrying out violence. And that's why, if you're led by women and homosexuals, you live in a weird, stupid society, which is called Europe. Europe is stupid. Europe is one of the stupidest places I've ever thought. I can't even believe it's this stupid. It's so horrible. I can't imagine it. But yeah, those aren't our friends. Look who they're allowed with. This idiot, Sean Ryan. These people are the problem. We need to liberate our brothers and sisters in Europe and have them rise up and overthrow these whatever you want to call them, types of governments, these, whatever this is, whatever you call this garbage that wants to ally with China over Americans, like they hate us. That van der Leyen lady, she hates Americans. She hates the fact that we're allowed to speak. She doesn't want us to talk. They hate the fact that we have guns. She doesn't want us to be able to defend ourselves. Like, these are how these people are. They hate their own populations. Anyway, let's listen to some more of this idiot.
And that's why there's rumors that there are discussions about getting rid of the tariffs on Chinese NEVs, new energy vehicles, being imported into Europe. So right now,
okay, that's not going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. The golden age is not just words. When Trump says he's bringing a golden age, he's not joking. He really means it. And so now what needs to happen now is the rest of America, including the people in his cabinet, if they haven't already gotten 100% on board, everybody in his cabinet needs to realize, oh, no, we're really going to do this. And then everybody in America, all the MAGA people and all the people that voted for Trump, they need to realize, oh, wait a minute. No, we are really going to do this. We are really going to do this. We are really going to do this. And we're going to literally dismantle this entire Chinese global system that was set up by the Rockefellers from 1950-ish to now. And that's all going to get torn up and dismantled and thrown in the trash where it belongs, because Chinese products are literally garbage. They're literally plastic pieces of shit that nobody needs and that nobody wants. Nobody wants this shit. The only reason we buy it is because it's forced on us, and all of our people have been aren't making anything anymore because they've all been undercut so tremendously by all the cheap shit, and so nobody makes anything good. But that's all going to change, and so you need to get serious about it. You need to be really serious about it. Like literally, it's not just Trump doing this anymore. It can't just be Trump. Trump is doing a lot. Like, Trump is like, he's like, what do you call it? He's batting for I don't know, the Grand Slam. What's the baseball analogy? For the bleachers. He's aiming for the bleachers. But it's the rest of us. We can't just sit here and be like, oh, look at Trump. Now Trump's doing this. Now Trump's doing that. Oh, look at Trump's doing this now. And now Trump's doing that. No. You and me need to do whatever we can to defeat this Chinese garbage system that's been imposed on us with the World Trade Organization and the dead David Rockefeller. Thank God he's dead. Thank God he has worms for a blanket, as like Isaiah said about the king of Babylon. He's got worms for a blanket. He's got worms for a blanket. David Rockefeller has worms for a blanket. Good. Bye. You were a piece of shit. You ruined our country. You destroyed our country. You set up China. You made them rich and you made our people poor. Fuck you. Get your fucking shit out of here. Go back to China. Nobody wants it here. It's trash. Nobody invited you here. We never asked for you to come here. How about you just leave? How about you stop occupying our territory? Stop your occupation of our territory. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Goodbye. Go away. Leave us alone. How's that?
Xi is not going to be the first person to make the call. He wants to show Europe. He wants to show ASEAN. He wants to show
Europe. Hey, fuck you, man. You're not European. You, Sean Reen, you're Asian. Go live with your own people, dude. Why are you talking about Europe? And as far as van der Leyen goes, she shouldn't be there. We need to dismantle this whole thing, not just in China, but in Europe. We need to raise up the European people. We need to raise up our brothers and sisters in Europe. We need to form new alliances, new strong alliances with our brothers and sisters in Europe, and dismantle this whole globalist system that's based in the manufacturing base of China. And we need to realign with our brothers and sisters in Russia and in Ukraine and in Germany and France and all of Europe. And as far as you go, Sean Reen, you can just fuck off back to China. And as far as you go, George Galloway, why don't you pick up your shit and move to Saudi Arabia and go worship your cube in Mecca, your Catholic cube in Mecca, because that's what you are. You're a Muslim Catholic communist. Why didn't you just get the fuck out? All of you. We don't need you. That's what I think.
Show the global majority that China's not scared and isn't going to bow down. And most importantly,
Bow
that
down.
China isn't going to bow down.
Bow
is a
down.
message that he needs to send to the domestic Chinese population, who again,
It's not about
have
bowing
that-
down. It's about fucking off back to your shithole. That nobody invited you here. Nobody wants your stuff here. And you keep saying, we're going to win. We're going to win. You're going to win what? We don't want your shit anymore. Can you just leave? That's all we're saying. Just go away. I don't know what Trump is saying. Whatever Trump is saying that's good. I'm hoping that this escalates all the way to literally China just doesn't exist. Here's what I'm saying. BRICS, goodbye. Go away. We don't need BRICS. I don't need China. I don't need India. I don't need the Black African Communist government in South Africa. That's not even South Africa. South Africa was literally founded by white people from Europe, and then blacks moved there. So South Africa isn't even whatever South Africa is today was taken over by Black Africans that weren't even from there. They like literally migrated to where the whites are. And then it was the Roman Catholic Church with the United Nations and the whole Rockefellers, the same people that set up China as the manufacturing base. They're the ones that killed off the whites in South Africa. That's what this is all about. That's what it's been about the whole time. And the thing is, we don't need you. And we never did. Rhodesians never needed you. The Rhodesians were actually quite nice to some of the Africans that came down. That's why there were so many there. Like, I knew a guy from South Africa, and he explained to me, look, when the blacks came down, we tried to help them, and we gave them jobs, and we helped them build schools and helped them have like give them like some kind of educational curriculum, and literally build them the schools and houses and medic, all the stuff you need, right? Like literally they tried to help the blacks as much as they could while living separately. So they didn't want to race mix with them, but because they were there and they were participating in South African society, they literally tried. And he's like, we tried everything to help them. And then the communists came and took over and they wiped us all out. And then he had to move. And then he was living over here in California. That's the story. That's what they've been doing the whole time. These people are shit. And we don't need them. We never needed them. You don't need China for anything. If you think you're due, you're wrong. Why don't you just go make something yourself, dummy? Go make stuff. You can do it.
Word resolve to stand up to what they consider to be imperialism and bullying, George.
So you invading my country and occupying my land, that's where I'm an imperialist. You come over here and you come over here and you come to my country and you go to my government run schools, which are all funded by the federal government, like Harvard, that gets money from the feds. You come here and then you bring all your shit here and you set up all your shipping lanes here and you're doing all this, and then you're calling me an imperialist? Fuck you, man. Fuck you. I can't even believe these people, dude. They're such rude and just delusional assholes. And then you have this communist Muslim Catholic piece of garbage, George Galloway. They just all hate America. They love to bring foreigners over to Ireland to kill the Irish. And that's what George Galloway does. And then he becomes their leader. That's his whole shtick.
Well, I hope I can finally get one of these Chinese new energy vehicles.
Oh, I want a new Chinese energy vehicle. I'm not going to use any more bad words, dude. I'm not going to do it. Nobody wants to hear that.
I hope you're right and that the sanctions are lifted. But
Why? Why do you hope that? Why do you want a cheap Chinese energy vehicle? Why do you want Chinese vehicles in Ireland? Why do you want that? Why do you want that, George? George, you fucking Muslim, communist, Catholic, Vatican agent. Why don't you want your people to build your own stuff. You don't think the Irish people can build anything? You don't think the British people can build anything? What about Rolls-Royce? Remember that? Remember Rolls-Royce? I mean, that wasn't Irish, but the British built some pretty nice machinery. They built Rolls-Royce. They built Triumph motorcycles. Those are pretty cool. You're just God, man. These people are such assholes.
The politics of this are what lies behind it, really. I mean, some people say, Brian Belichick being one eminent commentator who takes the view that the United States is bent on confrontation, even to the point of war against China, and that these are merely the opening shots. Where do you stand on that? Do you think these are opening shots of something even more dangerous than global trade war? Or is this about positioning for this new world that we unarguably are now entering into?
So I think Brian is a very smart man, and I have a lot of respect for him, but I disagree with him on this point. I actually think the threat of war has really gone down under Trump. He likes to talk. He likes to use a shock and awe strategy and try to scare people, unlike Biden, who is more quiet. But the difference is that Biden would actually sell arms to the Ukrainians. He would actually launch military action around the world. Trump is more like a paper tiger. He talks big. And what he likes to do is use his acolytes or the people surrounding him, sycophants almost. Marco Rubio, who's one of the biggest China hawks.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Then why are you complaining so much, you little bitch? If Trump's a paper tiger, then why are you running your mouth and complaining like a little bitch? Why are you bitching so much? Why don't you just shut the fuck up and pick up all your Chinese crap and get your go pack up all your shit in New Hampshire and just ship your ass back to China? Why don't you do that? If Trump's a paper tiger and we're so bad, why don't you just fuck off? Why don't you just leave us alone? Why don't you stay out of Europe? We don't want you in Europe. We just want you to leave us alone because we don't need you. We don't need you. We never needed you. I think I'm just getting this video because I'm just going to repeat myself. But these people, this is what's happening now. And it's not just this show. This is like they're turning up the volume on the pro-Chinese propaganda all across YouTube. They're turning up the volume on the pro-Chinese propaganda in English on all the communist channels on YouTube. So it's time to fight back with words and with deeds, like not buying their shit, not caring about the tariffs, and just doing everything possible as an American to ensure that all this Chinese shit gets shipped back and to never return. And hopefully that there won't even be a China a year from now. It'll all be gone. And there won't be a BRICS. There won't be a China. There won't be a Xi Jinping. And there will just be a big territory in East Asia called Lesser Taiwan, where I will be in command at the Taiwan base Space Command, where I will rule over that entire territory as the whatever Trump asked me to do. I'm going to do it. Good night.